Well, it does. It makes you feel good, and people in country music have treated me great, and I love country music.
I just thought, hey, you know, I've got nothing to lose. I want to get out there and go for it.
Imagine a neon sign that flickers at midnight, promising nothing more than polite chit-chat about chart positions. Yet the second a curvy country queen strolls onto the stage, that sign turns into a strobe warning. Buckle up. The host is about to forget every cue card in the building. Late-night television always swore it could keep its cool, but the 20 encounters you're about to relive prove hormones beat house rules every single time. Dolly Parton kicks off the chaos. It was May 1977, and she floated onto Johnny Carson's Tonight Show in a fire engine red dress that seemed airbrushed onto skin. Carson welcomed her, then immediately confessed he would trade a year of his life just to peek beneath the neckline. The audience gasped. Dolly cracked a honeyed laugh and teased, "Why would you barter when you can just keep dreaming?" With one quip, she shifted power, keeping every eye exactly where she wanted while steering the talk toward her songs. In 5 minutes, she promoted an album, deflected a million stares, and taught America that flirtation can be a weapon of mass distraction. No wonder rumors still float that she insured each curve for 7 figures. Viewers saw the policy in action that night. Tanya Tucker swaggered onto David Letterman's set in 1982, wearing jet black leather pants so tight they squeaked every time she shifted her weight. Letterman tried to greet her with a handshake. Tanya ignored the polite script and leaned over the desk to plant a playful kiss on his cheek, leaving lipstick evidence. Dave's cheeks matched the Delta Dawn singer's rouge as he stumbled over an introduction. She talked about riding motorcycles between tour stops and jokingly challenged Dave to a burnout contest, which only deepened his crimson. The segment detonated when she admitted she once outran highway patrol on a borrowed Harley, hinting at a rebel streak fans suspected but late-night censors never expected. That clip still circulates in grainy uploads, proof that Tanya could out-rock any rock star long before her 2023 Hall of Fame coronation. Shania Twain's 1999 drop-in on Jay Leno found the Canadian superstar still buzzing from the Man I Feel Like a Woman video. She marched out in a black mini dress that shimmered like oil on wet pavement, triggering an audible gulp from Leno. He fumbled cue cards while Shania leaned back, crossed her legs, and cheerfully dissected the song's feminist wink. Jay attempted a safe joke about cowboy hats, but Shania countered with a grin, asking if he preferred hers on or off. The host's stammer was instant meme material back when memes were magazine headlines. 25 years later, she can still fill a Vegas arena on her Queen of Me tour, yet fans swear the hottest ticket she ever sold was that 3-minute masterclass in controlled charisma. Barbara Mandrell glided onto the Merv Griffin show in 1978, wrapped in a glitter-drenched gown that split the difference between country glam and disco ball. Merv opened with a question about her steel guitar skills, but lost the sentence halfway, mesmerized by the way studio lights bounced off every contour. Barbara rescued him by demonstrating a finger-picking riff on an acoustic guitar she'd insisted on bringing, underscoring that beauty and musicianship were not mutually exclusive. Viewers still recount the clip as the night mainstream America realized the woman who could sleep single in a double bed could also hypnotize an entire living room without singing a note. She retired from touring in 1997, but that sequin tsunami still resurfaces in every late-night highlight reel. Crystal Gayle's 1981 Tonight Show visit is remembered less for the questions and more for her knee-length brunette waterfall, lit like a myth under studio halos. Johnny Carson reached across to stroke a single strand, only to catch himself mid-gesture, sheepishly asking permission. Crystal obliged with a smile so disarming the studio band missed a cue. She then told a story about shutting her hair in a limo door, which made Johnny flinch harder than any punchline. The segment closed with her singing a verse of "Don't It Make My Brown Eyes Blue" a cappella, silencing even the stagehands. Decades later, she jokes that nerves, not vanity, kept her hair long. It gave her hands something to do besides shake. But viewers know vanity never blushed so gracefully. When Lorie Morgan appeared on Arsenio Hall in 1992, She chose a scarlet dress slit nearly to the hip and strutted out to the dog pound's howls. Arsenio waved his cue cards like a collapsing fan, admitting, "You're trying to get me fired on live TV." Lorie shot back, "Honey, I'm auditioning to replace you," triggering the night's longest laugh. Between flirtatious digs, she revealed she wrote half her album on bar napkins at closing time, a confession that somehow felt both dangerous and delightful. She even confessed to sneaking a quick shot of tequila backstage because water was too nervous. Rumors would later swirl about backstage romances and shattered engagements, but that 8-minute flirt fest remains the smoking gun. Lorie never needed gossip columns to set off sprinklers. She brought her own heat. Reba McIntyre's 1994 Letterman slot began with Dave welcoming country royalty. Yet he abandoned formalities the moment Reba stepped out in emerald velvet, hugging every curve like fresh paint. He gulped water, cracked a joke about Midwestern humidity, and motioned her to sit before realizing he was still standing. Reba, unfazed, launched into a story about falling off a horse during a video shoot and tearing the very dress she was wearing, then winking that a quick stitch in the limo kept it from becoming network history. She asked Dave whether rugged injuries made her more relatable. He replied something about it making her impossible to forget. Today, she coaches hopeful singers on The Voice, but fans swear her true blind audition was that night, when Letterman's eyeballs never once looked away. Winona Judd rolled onto Jay Leno's stage in 2001 dressed head to toe in noir leather, her copper mane blazing under the spotlights. Jay greeted her with a handshake. She countered by gripping his wrist in a mock arm wrestle stance that made his knuckles pop over the microphone. She joked about learning the move from her mama Naomi, then segued into tales of touring in a bus nicknamed Big Bertha because it once survived a tornado. When Jay teased that curtains might have held up better, Winona leaned forward and whispered, "Bertha's tougher than your monologue," earning the biggest ovation of the night. Years later, she would return to late night to send love to Taylor Swift, but veteran viewers still replay that arm wrestle to watch Leno lose before any question even landed. Emil Harris floated onto the Johnny Cash show in the mid-1970s wearing a bohemian dress and the kind of silver blonde hair salon alchemists still chase. During rehearsal, Cash whispered that he might forget lyrics if she kept staring at him with those glacier eyes, so she promised to glance at the ceiling during their duet. On air, she did the opposite, locking eyes until Johnny tripped a line in Wildwood Flower, prompting gentle laughter from the audience and a bashful grin from the man in black. Critics called it chemistry. Emmylou later called it playful sabotage. She spends her modern days rescuing strays and writing folk hymns, but that televised heartbeat remains proof that subtlety can be the loudest instrument on stage. June Carter Cash hit Carson's couch in 1975 with the mischievous aura of someone who knew every camera operator by name. She wore a powder blue gown with a neckline deeper than primetime usually allowed, then unleashed a barrage of Appalachian one-liners that made Johnny clutch the desk for balance. When he asked whether being married to Johnny Cash ever got lonely, she fired, "Lonely? Honey, I spend half my life hiding from him so we can miss each other." The audience erupted. Even Doc Severinson's trumpet riff came in late. June followed by producing a harmonica from her clutch purse and challenging Johnny to a duel, blowing a blues lick that sent the crowd to their feet. Obligated to surrender, Carson declared her the baddest Carter of them all. That spontaneous jam became late-night legend, reminding future guests that props plus wit equals nuclear charisma. Pam Tillis breezed onto Conan O'Brien's stage in 1996, sporting cowboy boots so sparkly they could guide ships. Conan welcomed her with a lanky bow, then tripped on the band riser, landing in what looked suspiciously like a kneel of devotion. Pam milked it, tossing her hair and asking if he was proposing. Conan reddened to match his quiff while the audience roared. The interview pivoted into her tales of growing up the daughter of Mel Tillis, including sneaking into recording studios and imitating backup singers until engineers noticed. She confessed she once recorded a demo secretly at age 13. When producers found out, they offered her a contract if she dialed down the sparkle. Thankfully, she never did. Conan's tumble proved the diamonds were permanent. Leanne WAC's early 2000s Tonight Show stint had Jay Leno introducing "The Voice That Can Stop Traffic" moments before she walked out in a lace top the color of storm clouds. Jay began a question about her crossover success, but Leanne interrupted to ask whether neon lights really made denim look tighter or if that was just Hollywood hype. The question short-circuited Jay, who took a beat too long staring before sputtering, "Looks snug from here." Leanne laughed, then pivoted seamlessly into discussing "I Hope You Dance," admitting she wrote it after watching her kids spin barefoot on a laminate kitchen floor. The emotional whiplash, from playful tease to heartfelt confession, left viewers torn between swooning and sobbing, and that single swing cemented her as both siren and sage. Shelby Lynn arrived on Letterman in 2001 fresh off a Grammy win, wearing a silver mini dress that shimmered like satellite debris. Dave started with standard applause lines, but Shelby cut him off, asking if he believed awards mattered or if they were just shiny coupons for more heartbreak. Letterman, momentarily stunned, admitted nobody had ever asked him that on air. She followed by strumming an unplugged guitar right there in the chair, singing a 30-second blues lick about New York taxis ignoring her hail. The stark vulnerability sucked oxygen from the studio. Dave could only whisper, "That's the realest thing this desk has heard." Viewers later said they felt as though they'd eavesdropped on a diary page, one wearing 6 inches of glittering armor. Jessica Andrews was barely 20 when she claimed Craig Kilborn's couch in 2002, bearing midriff and confidence in equal measure. Kilborn attempted his signature flirt, asking if her parents approved of the outfit. Jessica fired back, "Mom picked the top. Dad's outside revving the tour bus if you misbehave." The crowd howled, sensing she could run circles around any pickup line. Craig tried again, complimenting her single "Who I Am," but Jessica steered the praise toward her co-writers, noting she fought to keep a steel guitar lick the label called "Too Country." Her insistence paid off when the song hit #1, and she told the story with a grin sharp enough to slice through corporate notes. By the segment's end, she had flipped the power dynamic, reminding every young viewer that poise beats age any day of the week. Faith Hill's 1998 Letterman appearance arrived like a gust of southern heat. She chose a spaghetti-strap top glinting with rhinestones and claimed the guest chair as though it were her porch swing. Dave tried opening with a routine top 10 list joke, but Faith disarmed him by leaning forward and asking if he ever lost his voice from laughing at his own punchlines. The question caught him mid-sip, sending water down the wrong pipe and producing a cough fit that Faith gently patted out with a napkin. Once equilibrium returned, she spoke about the emotional punch of recording "Breathe," comparing singing the high notes to "standing on the tip of a lightning rod." The metaphor stunned Dave into near silence, proving a soft voice can still land a knockout. Kelly Pickler's 2011 Ellen visit technically falls under daytime, but the energy screamed midnight. She bounded out in high-waisted neon shorts, delivering a hug so enthusiastic, Ellen nearly lost her balance. The former Idol contestant then poked fun at her North Carolina accent, saying GPS still couldn't understand her directions. Kelly stunned the audience by revealing she memorized capitals to sound smarter on tour, rattling off Ouagadougou and Antananarivo without blinking. The flirting was softer than typical late night, but the charm quake was just as seismic. Ellen visibly blushed when Kelly demonstrated how she convinced police officers to let her off with a warning by quoting obscure trivia. That segment lives on as proof that bubblegum energy can short-circuit even the coolest host. Gretchen Wilson stormed Jimmy Kimmel Live in 2004 wearing ripped jeans and a tank that read, "Trouble Finds Me." Jimmy opened with a tame question about her hit Redneck Woman, but Gretchen interrupted to pour 2 shots of whiskey, sliding one across the desk. Kimmel, ever the sport, downed it, then sputtered when she revealed it was 110 proof. The crowd roared as Gretchen explained she carried the flask on flights in case the minibar runs away. By the time the segment ended, she'd taught Jimmy a boot-scootin' step, mocked Hollywood juice cleanses, and declared that dirt roads were just red carpets without the photographers. The network might have bleeped half her punchlines, yet the uncensored charm lit up the ratings. Trisha Yearwood drifted onto Jay Leno's stage in 1996 in a floor-length black gown edged with sapphire beading. Jay quipped that he felt underdressed, and Trisha shot back, "I overdress so you don't have to," earning immediate applause. She then revealed she baked a peach cobbler for the green room, prompting Jay to beg for leftovers mid-interview. With perfect timing, Trisha produced a slice from beneath her chair, feeding Jay the first bite like a mischievous caterer. The scent wafted toward the front row, triggering audible moans from hungry audience members. Crumbs dotted Jay's tie for the remainder of the night, but he refused a napkin, claiming he was saving the flavor for later. That impromptu dessert drop cemented Trisha's reputation as the South's sweetest assassin, able to kill cameras with kindness and carbs simultaneously. Leanne Rimes walked onto Rosie O'Donnell's stage in 1997 at just 15, wearing a turquoise cocktail dress that made her look both princess and prodigy. Rosie, expecting teenage shyness, instead met a laser-focused storyteller who spoke about skipping prom to headline county fairs. When Rosie teasingly asked if she had homework due, Leanne replied she traveled with a tutor who graded papers between sound checks. The host tried to pivot to teenage crushes, but Leanne steered back to vocal warm-ups, demonstrating a run so athletic it left Rosie wide-eyed. The segment ended with Rosie declaring, "You scare me," in the best way possible. Years later, Leanne would dance across reality show stages, but nothing ever matched the jaw-dropping poise she mailed in before she could legally drive. Closing the parade is Loretta Lynn, whose 1970 duet on The Johnny Cash Show proved grandma strength long before she became a grandmother. Loretta arrived in a low-cut sapphire satin dress that conservatives deemed too much twinkle for church, yet the moment she opened her mouth, moral grumbling vanished. Johnny Cash couldn't hide his grin, harmonizing while sneaking admiring glances every time the lyric allowed. After the song, she joked that the dress felt like wearing hot tin roof shingles, but anything for ratings, baby. The quip landed almost as big as the melody. Her 2022 passing left a hole in country music. But rewind that tape and you can still see a coal miner's daughter silencing judgment with a single rhinestone glare. So there you have it, 20 late-night collisions where lipstick, leather, and lightning vocals rewired the circuits of primetime television. More than wardrobe choices or flustered hosts, each appearance doubled as a guerrilla ad campaign for unstoppable femininity, proof that a country queen could sell records, rewrite gender rules, and steal a network's heartbeat before the first commercial break. Newcomers keep dreaming of viral moments, but the playbook was drafted decades ago. Walk in like you own the studio, joke like the cameras are your drinking buddies, and never let the host control the tempo. Whether Dolly's insurance policy rumors, Tanya's outlaw grins, or Loretta's roof shingle dress, every tale reminds us that charisma ages better than celluloid. Late-night TV still tries to act prepared, yet somewhere deep in its archives a red warning light keeps blinking, whispering the same advice to future hosts. Brace yourself. The next queen could arrive tonight, unannounced.